Alright, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Hegshot. Thank you so much for joining me today as we look at a very special rifle. This is a G43 rifle made by Berlin Lübecker, I think. That I'm probably totally butchering that. But this is a German semi-auto World War II rifle. And today I'm just going to give you a first look, and I'm also going to tell you some things to consider if you end up getting one of these rifles. If this is your first time stopping by, man, please make sure you do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, drop me a like on the video, and leave me a comment, man. Let me know what your favorite semi-auto of World War II was. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, when I first bought this rifle, by the way, these things are pretty expensive. I bought it, I thought, man, this is going to make a great video compared to the M1 Garand. Well, a series of things have happened since I bought this rifle. First of all, my M1 Garand blew up. Bad ammo, got a batch of it. The company I bought the ammo from did replace the stock for me. All of the metal components seem to be fine. So we'll be getting the M1 out here again. It lives on to see another day, thankfully. But then I ran into an issue with this, and I don't even know if there's an issue now. I don't think there is, but I haven't even taken this to the range. And basically I was doing some research, and people were talking about, man, don't shoot your G43 rifle until you actually get the thing looked at, and make sure it's safe to shoot with a shooter's kit. So I'm like, a shooter's kit? Well, what the heck is that? So that's what I'm going to show you, man, and just give you an idea of what you'll be getting into if you get one of these. Now, there was 400,000 of these made during the war, and it started life out as the G41, which had a weird kind of gas system up here. They didn't want to drill a hole into the barrel because they thought that that would lead to premature corrosion, all of this kind of stuff, right? Well, eventually they get their hands on a gun called the SVT-40, the Russian semi-auto, and they're like, well, hey, we can drill a hole in the barrel. And they took design cues from the SVT-40, put it in their gun, hence the G43. And one thing about these rifles is they were made during the war. It was kind of a rushed thing, and there's reports out there about slave labor. Some of the slave laborers, rightfully so, actually corrupting rifles. So to the point where it would blow up in the rifleman's face, and they would fail prematurely. And you can probably understand that, and I can understand that, why they would do something like that. So lack of heat treating, lack of quality parts sometimes, and slave laborers just saying, hey, screw you guys, we're going to corrupt your rifles. All of that goes into this. I've heard reports of guys using these things as literally ladder rungs to get up if they need to climb up somewhere. So I think on the outside these things look pretty rough, but once you get them to where they're safe to shoot, I imagine this is going to be a pretty fun rifle to shoot. By the way, it's chambered in 8mm Mauser, the same thing as the K98K. Uses a detachable magazine right here. The rounds that the guy that fixed this actually shot out of the rifle once he finished it up. The guy I went to is one of the best known G43 rifle gunsmiths out there, and again, it's like Apfelter Waffenfabrik, I think. I'll leave a link down to his website if you need something with your G43. He is the guy to go to. Turnaround time was less than like 10 days to get it to him and to also get the rifle back to me super quick. Really appreciate that. So I'm going to start at the front of the rifle here. And again, I plan on doing a full review on this rifle. I got to take it out a few times, kind of get to know it a little bit better, because to be quite honest with you, I bought it and then I haven't been able to shoot it. One thing I really do like, by the way, is these barrel bands as opposed to something like a Mauser or a Mosin. Super easy to get off right there. But essentially, once we get the handguard off, this is the biggest known issue with the G43. With the original parts, which I still do have here, so with the original piston and design, these things were severely overgassed. So essentially what was happening when they would fire these things is your piston rod actually comes back this way. Here's the hole in the barrel. So this rod is actuated on the bolt face here, and that causes the whole action to go back. But because they were overgassed and shot and shot and shot, essentially what it would do is bend the receiver in the rear back here. It would also cause premature failure in the bolt up here. And eventually what can happen is this entire bolt group assembly can come apart on you, and this is a sketchy bolt. Let me show you. Keep my finger on this little latch, but this little latch right here is the only thing holding this bolt from literally going all over the place. There's springs on the inside of it. Of course, you have the bolt face, all of that kind of stuff, and this thing will absolutely go everywhere. But I want to hold this together and show you what happened back here is it actually cracked. So what he did is he actually took this, made sure he welded it back together, got into a position where, and basically he made it where this thing will not come apart in my face, which could really ruin your day. And ideally, you don't want parts coming back in your face whenever you're shooting at the range. So I'm gonna safely put this down over here. Again, if you get one, be cautious of that. In the rear back here, it bent the receiver. Mine was bent as well. And he straightened this back out for me. So it's just years and years of abuse on this right here. And actually something that's interesting is mine was set up, and it's threaded on the inside. You're not going to be able to see it, but it was actually set up to shoot blanks. I had no idea about that. And he was like, hey, you want this to fire live rounds, right? I was like, yeah, that's the idea. He was like, well, he basically cleared the threads. The threads are still in there, but he cleared it to the point where the bullet won't hit the threads. So essentially, if I would have not done any of this and just taken it to the range, my bullets would have tumbled, it would have been inaccurate, and I would have been pretty upset that my G43 rifle, I can't hit the broadside of a barn. Or if I did hit it, the bullet would tumble and it'd just be, you know, just a mess. So anyways, he cleared that issue up for me there. But again, here is the biggest issue. And what he does is he takes the new piston, puts it in there, and it comes with a little threaded piece like this. So the old piston right here, it wasn't threaded. It's just kind of concave, and all of that gas just kind of shoots back. The new ones, this is a different kit that I actually bought from another company before I found the guy I went to, but the new ones are actually threaded. So basically you take these little plugs, you have several of them, and you want to start with like the lowest one possible. Again, this plug isn't made for this kit. I'm just giving you an idea what this looks like. But this backs off the amount of gas that's actually going to get to the bolt. And you just want to get it where it's enough gas where it'll reliably cycle the gun and nothing more. And that's what he did. He installed the kit. This is all ready to go. He just gave me additional plugs in case I wanted to up the gas just a little bit for whatever reason. And then he also shimmed it. So he puts these little shims in there, again, to get it exactly where it needs to be. And you can kind of see the piston as it moves back and forth. So again, this is a two-piece rod design. So essentially, you pull this back right here. You can take, I don't even know what they call this, an extension or whatever this is. You take that out, and then you have the piston cylinder right there. And then you have the piston rod and spring right there. And this piston rod, it can mushroom because of years of abuse and all that. And then there's the piston with the threads, and he's already got the plug in there and all of that good stuff. And then putting this back together. Put that on there. Put the gas cylinder back on. Put the little middle piece right there. Just make sure you made them up. And again, this was almost exclusively directly taken from the SVT-40. Putting the bolt back in, we're going to be super careful to not touch the latch up top. This little latch right here is the only thing holding this whole thing together, so I'm going to actually just hold on to the other side. You basically slide this on into place. There's a little button on the back. You push that, that slides down. Then you can release it safely, just like that, okay? So these are the kinds of things you're going to have to deal with. This cost me about $750 to get this entire thing done. Again, he was going to install the other kit, but I told him, hey, I'll just keep that one. All right, that one wasn't cheap. I actually ordered that from the Netherlands. It wasn't a cheap kit, but I told him, hey, just go ahead and install your kit, do everything right there. So by the time I get it, it'll be ready to shoot. And that's what he did. Quick turnaround time. Really appreciate him, you know, educating me and making sure that I didn't destroy not only a piece of history, but a super collectible rifle and something I want to shoot. Obviously, trying to show y'all a gun that I can't shoot. It does me zero good, and I need to be able to shoot this, and I want to be able to shoot it for a long time. I want my kids to be able to shoot it, and their kids, and so on and so forth. If you don't do these things and you just shoot the rifle the way it came out of the factory, you're not going to have a rifle for very long. So I suggest that you take the time, do your own research, and look at this stuff, man, because it's super important, but that'll really save you a lot of headache and possibly worse in the future. It might be a little bit that goes into this, but if you think about it, any rifle you buy, you're going to get a scope, you're going to get this and that. So yeah, it's an extra cost, but to keep you safe and allow you to shoot it for a long time, I think it's worth it. So there you go, man. The G43, again, this one is from 1944. So many cool stories about these guns and a pretty deep history considering they were only made really for a few years. Starting with the G41 to the G43, 400,000 of the G43s were made in a time where they were making millions and millions of guns. Every country was. It's a pretty special rifle in that regard. I cannot wait to shoot it. Once I do the full review, of course, I'll share it with y'all. So if you appreciated the video, again, if you will, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Drop me a like on the video. Let me know what your favorite semi-auto from World War II is. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That was a hit, right? All right, 300. See that one? I seen it. High up to the left. All right, 400 yards.